Hello, Caveman News. It's Cindy with some astrology. I am going to assign an art movement to every sign in this message. So let's start with the sign that loves to go first, Leo. They're going to get the Renaissance, which is like a 300-year period that was all-encompassing with accurate portraiture, but of people in their best light, made up to look their best. That is Leo. Then I'm going to talk about Baroque, which I'm assigning to Scorpio, obviously, because all of those paintings were dark and brooding. They were intense and dramatic. Think Caravaggio with David holding the head of Goliath like it was no big deal. Scorpio. Romanticism. That's going to be assigned to Pisces, of course, because emotion and intuition rule everything. They were artists that like to value the sublime experience of being in nature, being overwhelmed by it, but also having dark emotions, like Goya's depiction of Saturn devouring his sun. That's how emotions are. Then we have an artistic reaction to romanticism next in line, which was realism. This movement is going to be Taurus because they were like, no more emotions, no more abstract thinking. We need to get serious and just make paintings of people doing work in fields and just mind our own business and do things to progress forward in life and do Then we're going to talk about some arts and crafts movement, which I'm assigning to Cancer because crafts are oftentimes things that are made for the home, like quilts and adornments, things like that. Cancer rules homemaking. Then we have this little movement in 1909 to start a World War I, which is futurism, and it kind of took off after the war ended, but it was just in Italy for the most part, and giving that to Aries because it valued fast-moving production, it wanted progress and change, and that's kind of Aries. They're always thinking forward, always moving forward. Then in the 1910s and 20s, we have Surrealism, which I'm giving to Sagittarius. This is art that's experimental and curious and playful. It's kind of crazy. It's unexpected, full of surprises and adventure, maybe even a little drug-induced. That's fine, because Sagittarius is ready for whatever. Also, in the 1920s, we have Dada, which I'm giving to Aquarius because, of course, the Dada movement is super weird, like Aquarius. But it also, at its heart, it valued this sort of concept of rebelling against the norms of art making. And the people in the Dada movement, those artists were uncomfortable and kind of embarrassed by the war. So they were creating art that really made people uncomfortable and push boundaries and cause them to think about social norms. Then we have the Harlem Renaissance, also in the 20s to the 30s. I'm giving this to Gemini because this was a really important movement for African American artists because they were oppressed victims of racism in America. And Gemini is known for being non-judgmental and objective with friends from all different walks of life. I'm going to give the Art Deco movement that's in the 20s and 40s, 20s, 30s, and 40s to Capricorn. Because art at that time, even curvy natural subjects were rendered in sort of an orderly, straight lines with lots of geometry type way. And something about it's really classic and timeless, just like how Capricorns are. Plus all the gold. Capricorns are associated with finance. So gold, all that gold leaf and everything on their art, that's definitely Capricorn. Then in the 50s and 60s, we have pop art, which is going to be Libra. It's art that's fun and flirty, kitschy, kind of shallow. We're not attacking any deep, dark subjects here. They were interested in mass media, things like Andy Warhol and Campbell's Soup Can. Very Libra, keeping it light. And then in the 60s and 70s, we had minimalism, which I'm giving to Virgos. Their whole deal, the minimalists, their whole deal was working to eliminate unnecessary details from their art. Everything was just like clean and just enough.
Many names, and he'll defeat any challengers in the war games. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Pepito. Wait, what the hell? There we go. Clap, clap, clap. Pepito.
Hello. Kinda.
Absolutely. How are you doing this week?
So good.
Excellent. Let's play your beat.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I should introduce the episode. Welcome to our final episode in our El Paso month. Tonight we will be talking about wrestling and aliases in El Paso. I fucked that up. Let's go back. Here we go.
A sensational victory!
Wrestling.
Su familia, represent El Paso, TX.
¿Para dónde la llevas? Para el Chuco.
Race to watch coming San Diego. I can still more than her.
The Chuco Tango Gang. Chuco Tango Gang. The Chuco Tango Gang.
Fuck the El Paso, Texas unit. Fuck the El Paso, Texas. Motherfuckers dumb at the El Paso, Texas unit.
Has admitted to changing his name several times and using more than one alias.
¿Para dónde la llevas? Para el Chuco.
Damn. I love that fucking I love the outro on that beat. That is once again knocking it out of the park, Pepito. It's a pleasure to have you with us tonight. How have you been enjoying your El Paso month?
I'm ready to
get
back.
We also Pepito police scanner active scanning for police calls in Carlsbad, so we can keep abreast of what's going on while we're still out of town. And so thank you very much for that, Pepito.
You're welcome.
Wasn't that a great voicemail from Cindy to start the show off?
Of course, as always.
Yeah, that was that's some really which one? Your Cancer. Which one was the art movement for you?
I missed it because I was mid jam.
Right,
I was really lost in the moment musically. So I didn't get a good listen.
But yeah, I don't remember what cancer was. And to be honest, I was kind of trying to remember everything that we need to do for this show. I've got to put on my mask, I've got to change it and put on the glasses. It was a whole ordeal, but I'm
Switch
sure.
scenes.
Oh my god, it's very complicated. I feel as though we've both learned a lot doing this streaming show for 10 months now, and I think we've come very far and progressed quite a bit, but there's still mysteries. But also, this is another thing, trying to keep track of all the different things we need to bring up. We have to acknowledge that this is our Halloween episode, and that's why, very obviously, Pepito and I both have our Halloween costumes. I am Paul/Tom from Funny Games. See, I've got my... Oh, wait, you know what? I am messing it up already. Hold on.
Ooh.
I thought I ordered the white golf gloves because I was thinking that completes the Funny Games look. And then I ordered it, and it only came with one glove. Do golfers not wear two gloves?
Yeah,
Don't they have both hands grabbing the golf club?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe for drive. I don't know anything about it, really.
Yeah. It doesn't make any sense to me to only send one glove, but hey, I don't know. I enjoy it. Pepito, what about your...
I am Austin Babbitt.
Soy Teresa in the chat says...
Soy Teresa?
Well, she says that I cannot borrow any eggs from her, which... we'll see. We'll revisit that later. And she also says they only wear one glove. So, what do I know? But Pepito, I want to see. Let me go to your close up. I hit the button.
Hello there.
Hang on. I'm going to your close up. I hit the button. There we go. Okay, stand up. Let's see it. What is this?
I am Austin Babbitt, aka Ass Pizza.
And who's that?
Follow your dreams, Joe. Carl's Jr.
Oh, I didn't even see the time. I've been sitting here talking to you for an hour, and I had no idea there was more to it than just your incredible shirt. And you showed me a picture, and I must say, you completely captured the essence of this ass pizza. And he's a fashion designer, you say?
Yes. Tyrant on the scene, making you waves with his designs.
Okay. Well, I mean, I dig that one. I think you pulled it off.
I liked it.
Maybe I have to investigate a bit further.
I just liked his pumpkin flannel.
Yeah, it's a good idea. That's a good costume. I feel like, see, what I really wanted to do was to be completely covered up so that in our pre-show hangout, you could not see my outfit. But at the same time, I've been telling everybody for years that I wanted to be the Funny Games.
You didn't close yourself up?
Huh?
You didn't put yourself all big?
Well, I don't know. See, the way I've got my camera set up. Hang on,
no, don't mess with it if you don't have to.
No, check this out. So I go here. I go to my close-up. That should have been it. I hit the button. There we go. But still, you can't see. You can't tell that I have the white shorts on.
But now you're all tall.
Exactly. I'm all tall. 100%.
All tall and all dressed.
Cinderoni in the chat says, woo, that cancer craft, though.
Cancer
craft. I believe
craft.
she's talking about your skills at crafting. I hit the button, and we're just sitting here at this screen. I don't want to be at this screen. There we go. I don't need the cheering. God, or the beat. That is just unhinged. But speaking of unhinged, once again, we are about 20 minutes into the show and we haven't started it yet. We have a message that was left for us, and I'm going to play that now. Let's see, I think it's this button.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Sean. Sean Norris, Sean Cho, whatever you want to call me. Sorry I missed the call last week. I had a lot of stuff going on, and I just was not able to make it. Not only that, like something happened with my Netflix and my Hulu because it's connected to an account that I have that I pay for, and I get those on like a benefit for that. And so I wasn't able to actually check out the movie, but I'm going to figure it out this week and watch it and let you guys know what's going on. I love you guys, and I apologize for my my tardiness and all that.
Don't call yourself that.
But I can promise you this, that it's not intentional by any means, and that life is crazy as hell, especially in my world. So
especially his.
I love you guys, miss you guys, and I hopefully will get to talk to you guys later. Peace out. One love. Bye.
All right. So what do you think the odds are that we can call him and he will answer now?
Pretty good. Should I call you?
Is that you?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, Pepito.
Hello.
Can you? Okay. Yeah. Let's call Sean here. He's supposed to have watched the movie Good Time and have a review of it ready for us. So let's call him. I'm going to do it, and when he answers, I will connect our calls. So hold on just a second. 575-680-5072. I think that's the right number. Let's see. Wow. Sean. What's up? Pepito, say hello. Were you able to watch Good Time? Yeah. What are your thoughts? I would love to hear them.
Co-directors was the little brother in the movie, and I didn't know that. I just found that out, and he did a really good job of acting. But I don't know. It's like a psychological, like crime spree movie, and you never stuff keeps happening. You never even realize what's going to happen, and then when it happens, the actors do such a good job of making you believe that it's actually happening, like the emotions, everything. But I really like the way it's shot, the colors and stuff.
Yeah.
It has like a late 70s, like early 80s kind of S to it, I think, kind of. And so it was really cool. I really enjoyed the movie. I think if you are looking for something new to watch it and you haven't seen it, it has Pattinson in it, and this guy from Twilight.
Nice.
And so I thought it was really interesting because he has facial hair, and you never seen the facial hair.
That is
and so he does such a good job of acting too. You don't even realize it, Tim.
He acts as though he doesn't even have the facial hair. It's
yeah, impressive. You know what I mean? It's just crazy, yeah.
How's your week been?
What's that?
How has your week been?
Oh, it was good. I just worked and kicked it with my lady. So
nice. Shout out to your lady. You got Halloween plans?
I mean, not. Yeah, actually, I do. I forgot. Yeah. My buddy, he has a band called Empty Cup here, and it's kind of like a goth, like trance, like 80s new wave thing.
Yeah.
and mixed with like, I don't know, weird punk rock, I guess. But he has a show, and I'm gonna be helping him put the show on, and it's a costume contest too.
Nice.
And so we're giving out prizes and stuff like that. But I'll be the door guy, and then I also help like set up the gear and run sound and stuff like that too.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
Soy Teresa in the chat here, Nico, she says, how many stars do you give Good Time?
Out of 5 stars, I would definitely give it like, I give it 4.5 just because the ending was abrupt and kind of like unbelievable to me. Okay. And I wish they would have gone a different direction with it. Right. But overall, the film was amazing. It was a great film. And I'd watch it again. So yeah.
Nice.
Have you ever found yourself hanging on the balcony hiding from the cops? Not that intense. No. But I have hit it on the roof.
Yeah.
Got away with it too. Yeah. Totally got away with it.
On my roof at least once or twice.
I
think I've hit on my roof with you. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
Could be.
Jeff, you're such a good sport too. Back in the day.
Oh my god. Hey,
man.
I have a question. What is your costume situation like for Halloween?
I don't really have anything picked out yet.
Oof. You got only days, my friend.
I know, but I usually do figure something out.
Yeah.
But I usually go to like the thrift stores and then like pick something, strange to be as,
Right. Strange to be as. For sure, man.
Yeah, so I have long hair. Oh, yeah. I do still have long hair, yeah. You can actually have to Facebook it. If you look up Sean Norris, it's me, it's long and it's blonde.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice. Excellent. We have a request for your next movie review.
Okay, what is it?
It's called Coherence.
Coherence?
Yes.
Okay, I will definitely check it out.
I think you'll really enjoy it. I just watched it.
Yeah?
A lot of fun.
And it was good?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Awesome.
And for the stream tonight, we're doing Halloween costumes. And have you ever seen the movie Funny Games?
Oh. What's that?
Have you ever seen the movie Funny Games?
I mean, it doesn't sound familiar, honestly.
I'm one of the guys from Funny Games, and Pepito is a fashion designer named, what is it? Ass Pizza?
Ass Pizza.
Yeah. It's
Can you send it to me?
Huh?
Can you send? Oh, is it about to play it or what?
I don't know what you said, but I agree with it. Thank you very much for your review.
Yeah,
nice
no problem.
talking to you.
Yeah,
next
you
week.
guys rule.
Take her easy.
All right.
Okay. Pepito?
I'm here. What's up?
It's not anymore, but Soy Teresa in the chat says, thank you, Sean. I think she misspelled it. I think it's CHAWN. And I forgot to ask, one of the things Soy Teresa told me I should ask him when he's on the phone is ask him about his middle name. Do you know his middle name?
No. Never. I don't think so. What?
D. D-E-E.
D. Oh.
Yeah, I don't know.
Neat.
I was also doing research for this episode looking at El Paso wrestling history, and I found out that famous wrestler Terry Funk, his middle name is D.
Terry D. Funk.
Terry D. Funk. That's a sick name, because I was thinking, we're talking wrestling and aliases tonight. Maybe I should look up local wrestling legend Terry Funk's real name, and his real name is Terry Funk. He's Terry D. Funk. So
What?
he was just born into it, dude. Should
How
we
to get so funky, Terry? Get so funky, Terry.
We gotta. Sometimes Pepito and I listen to a song before we start the show. Kind of gets us in the mood. That's what we should listen to next week.
And here's what I think of Trump's wall.
Thank you,
That's what
Michelle Lujan.
Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Pepito, we've been here rambling for about 30 minutes. Should we get the actual meat of the show started?
I think we've gotten some good things done in the time.
But we haven't covered the topics of the night.
Oh, exactly, but we're getting there.
I know. Well, Soy Trace in the chat says it's good rambling.
Yeah.
I say we get started. Now, here's the tricky part. I don't remember. I have my Stream Deck with all the buttons of the things I need to press to bring up on screen, and I cannot. Hey, Shancho Villa is in the chat.
He watches
I
the
can't
show he's
remember
on.
what I should press first. I think we're starting with aliases. Actually, let me take out my magnifying glass and look here. I can't read what that says, but I'm going to press this button anyway and see what happens. Oh, that's the cheering. Maybe this one. It's D. Yeah, Sean Chovia, it's D. Cinderoni in the chat says, my alias is Claire. God damn it. She got me started, and now I have to pronounce this. Brasso? I don't know. I think that's the correct pronunciation. I'm just guessing here. Let's hit the... Yep, Sean D. Norris. Sean Chovia in the chat says, Sean D. Norris. And Brother Binks says, what are the topics of the night? The topics we're trying to get to is 2 previous topics that we've discussed their history in Carlsbad, wrestling and aliases. And now we're trying to cover a little bit of those, but as they pertain to El Paso, to end out our El Paso month. So I'm hitting the button that I believe will start our... Hey, Cinderoni in the chat says, Conda, you said it correctly. And that is so good to hear. Can you read this one, Pepito?
The losers showed a yellow streak Monday night by appearing on the alleys with long yellow ribbons pinned to their sweaters on which...
Can you say what year this is? Just give us...
1908, October 27th.
All right.
Bowling dope. Okay, the losers showed a yellow streak Monday night by appearing on the alleys with long yellow ribbons pinned to their sweaters on which were printed the words, "Are we losers?" And on the reverse side, "We can't lose." Captain Hyde, alias Dad, alias Pap, was fined 1 round last night by showing up late for his work as foul line watchdog.
Damn. Dad, the foul line watchdog. Showing up. I don't understand that. They're saying he's the foul line watchdog, but then how is he penalized? He's not a part of the game, is he? I guess I don't understand golf or bowling. We gotta have Airhag on here.
Yeah, we need our bowling expert.
Bowling expert, but that's another guy that won't talk to me. I don't know.
He just doesn't want his knowledge out there.
Yeah, Brittany Pace has she's been on the show before. Our most
High Priestess 1311.
Yep, she's the guest we've had the most on the show, and I remember her saying that she saw Airhag recently. So he's out there and thriving, and that's all that matters. But yes, that is the losers.
Are
and
we
I like
losers?
the aliases of Dad and Pap. before we started streaming, Pepito and I were talking about the old band that I played in, the Sabertooth Cavity. And I remember that story reminds me when we would go on tour, our bass player, Renee, we all called him Dad on tour. And I don't know how it started or what it was all about, but he was the tour dad. He was like usually driving, and he was, yep. Soy Trees in the chat says, Nay, sure. And Pepito, last week, we mentioned Nay as well. Weren't you calling him the Renaissance?
The Renaissance.
The Renaissance. Okay, yeah. That makes more sense. Beautiful. Love it.
What a good guy. He was a very mature for his age type person.
He was. That's what I'm saying. That's why I think that's why we all called him the dad of tour, because he was the most mature out of all of us.
He's a cool, calm,
Soy Teresa in the chat says wise MF. And I agree.
Yeah.
Nay is very wise. Hey, you know what Nay's really into these days?
Oh, all the good stuff, I'd imagine.
Yeah, but also, he's a big golfer.
Oh.
That's just strange to me. I don't know. I got the glove, but believe it or not, I don't golf. So I just don't understand the appeal. Let's go to our second thing here. Pepito, I'm going to need you to read.
El Paso Herald, Friday, July 8th, 1910. Arrests total close to a dozen. El Paso officials secure information that leads to captures in many cities. One of a band makes confession. 2 women among number arrested. Biggest band ever operating in West.
Yeah, absolutely. Isn't that some frightening shit?
Yeah. I heard a buzz. Is your phone on?
Yeah, but it's on.
Oh, no, that was your guitar. No, I meant your landline phone, but I think your guitar string rang and it sounded similar to a dial tone.
Yeah, I got my guitar is ready, and yeah, Soy Teresa says she heard it too, and she thinks it was the guitar. And you know what? I believe you both. I'm standing right here by the guitar, and I have headphones on, but I didn't hear anything.
Just had your dial tone effect.
Yes, for sure. So that's the El Paso 1910, the gang going around. There was a lot of talks about women gangs, and that's just the first part. I know what you're saying. There's no alias. Well, we're getting to that in our next one. You read this one?
El Paso Herald, July 8th, 1910. Beginning with the arrest of Olin, alias, and a number of smaller frybacks several months ago, the officers of the El Paso Custom House and Special Agents Office have been working every day on evidence. Recently, a prisoner confessed and gave information sufficient to confirm all that the officials had suspected. The arrests were at once made in El Paso, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Atlantic City, and Atlanta, Georgia.
Wow. So this is a big girl gang. Soy Teresa in the chat says, we pulled up in one whip, and that's a reference to the Rocky Rivera song Girl Gang, because that's what this is. Now, here's the question, Pepito. We've done many segments on this show where I show you a newspaper comic from that day.
Oh, yeah.
And give you an opportunity to decide or to interpret what it means and things like that.
Yes.
Now, this is similar. I'm not doing that tonight, but in a similar vein, can you guess what the censored alias there is? I marked it out with black so that you couldn't see. Now, this is 1910. This is a gang of, it's a girl gang. Let's be honest. That's what it is.
Pigtails.
Pigtails. That would be a great alias. Well, let's see if you're right.
Snake Pool.
The nickname we were looking for is Snake Pool. So you're lucky this isn't the gambling episode. And we could have done that.
Oh, shit.
When I was researching for the gambling episode, I found so much talk about gambling in El Paso when we did our Carlsbad gambling episode. But geez Louise, those things are full of racial slurs. Like newspaper articles from the 1890s talking about gambling. They use some really bad words I don't think we should be using. So
PC. Just kidding.
Yeah, they're
Snake pool.
Yes, snake pool all day. I love snake pool.
Snake farm.
Okay, I've got another one here.
What?
Oh, Brother Bink says, what are the words? Well, I don't want to say them. I don't want to say racist stuff.
Can't compromise our Twitch accounts.
No, I don't care about the Twitch account.
Or even just say those things.
They could, yeah, I just don't want to be saying that stuff because I don't believe in it. And yeah, I don't condone it. Let's move on to our next story here. All
City
right.
starts own probe of hospital. March 8th, 1952. Mayor Fred Hervey and City Councilman Ernesto Ponce say Friday launched a new investigation of the alleged mistreatment of John George, alias 56, when he was a patient in El Paso General Hospital last month. Hervey and Ponce say spent over an hour at the hospital questioning witnesses.
Yeah, I forgot. When this started, I was thinking, why did I have this clip in here? And I remembered because I wanted to comment that I think the alias of 56 is a pretty funny alias.
My last name is Alias.
No, his alias is 56. That's the way I read it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I like to read it that his name is John George and his alias is 56.
I'm 56.
That's funny to me.
Or what's that one? Mr. 8.
Come on, dude.
Aw.
Okay.
Sweet Teresa does not like my joke. I think she did not approve. She gave me a come on, dude.
She liked it enough to find the sound alert.
Exactly. What's this one? You read it?
El Paso Times, Tuesday, July 25th, 1899. Existing treaty stipulations between the United States of America and Mexico for the mutual delivery of criminals, fugitives from justice, and certain cases for the delivery up of Mattie D. Rich, alias Mrs. John D. Rich, alias Mattie C.H. Rich, charged with the crime of murder committed within the jurisdiction of Mexico.
Yeah, okay. Now, I'll be the first to say murder is probably bad. That's probably not something we should do. But to say that her name is Mattie Rich and her alias is Mrs. John D. Rich, I don't know if that's an alias. What do you think?
You can't carry the rich twice.
I don't know. I don't think that's an alias. I think alias makes it sound like that's a, like, ooh, I have a secret name, you know, I'm doing shit under a different name and I'm very duplicitous and sneaky. But that's just her name. She isn't hiding anything. She's Mattie Rich, aka the lady who married John D. Rich. I don't know.
She's rich.
Yeah, that Brother Binks said it perfectly. That's just her husband's name, but they make it sound nefarious, and that's the only thing that I wanted to highlight there. I see that a lot researching this, and in our original aliases episode, there's a lot of talk where people just have like a slightly different name and they're like, oh, it's their alias. And it's like, no, man. Some people call him John, some call him Johnny. What do you quit trying to make it sound like it's criminal to have different names? I've had a few different names in my life.
Yeah. Conda.
Absolutely. Conda is the name of the now. I think I have
like Golconda, Illinois.
Golconda, Illinois. Is that a city?
Yeah. That's
Damn, I've
weird.
never heard. Have you been there? How do you know this city?
Oh, that babe, the person I showed you that did New Mexico towns, she did one of a town called Golconda, Illinois. That Cindy, the astrologist, showed me.
Okay, sorry, I just replied in the chat, typing instead of speaking it on air. But let's move on. I think I have one more thing with aliases. Here we go. You got that one?
Okay, Wednesday, October 12th, 1904. The eminent geologist who has been appointed press agent for the city government and is writing in behalf of his old friend Vox Populi, alias Mesa Water, alias Warning, alias Public Opinion, alias Last Chance, alias Alarm, alias Many Subscribers, alias Progressive, alias Taxpayer, alias Pioneer, alias Businessman, alias Public Spirit, alias Anti-Monopoly, alias Independent, alias Nonpartisan, might add another X to the XX he is now using so that the quality of his beverage would not remain longer in doubt.
Wow. So what the fuck do you think that means?
Something really awesome.
Yeah, I can't decipher what it means, but I really like it, so I included it. And if you'll notice, at the very top of this little clipping I have, there's a line and then one at the bottom as well. So that was a complete thought section in the newspaper. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like this is a segment of a long paragraph or anything. This is standalone, its own thing. And I have no idea what they're saying, but it sounds awesome.
Yeah. Quality of his beverage would not remain longer in doubt. What'd you ask?
Are you looking for a new nickname?
Always in the market for a new nickname.
Well, I saw some here that I think you could pull off. Like, what if we start calling you Mesa Water?
Nice. I'll try it.
Huh? I don't know.
Mr. Mesa Water.
Putting it out there. Okay, so that's some aliases talk. Yeah, Cinderoni says it reminds me of hashtags. And I agree, that really does remind me of hashtags. But then again, this is 1904. So, I don't know. I've heard Vox Populi as well. I think that's voice of the people. I'm not sure.
Wow. So,
what?
That's amazing. You knew that.
Nah, I don't know. I'm just taking a guess. Brother Banks says Triple X on jugs in Bugs Bunny cartoons meant that it was moonshine. And that's true. I'm pretty sure the X's on moonshine bottles are a real thing that they were doing back in the day. But I feel, geez Louise, every time I look at the clock, it feels like so much time has passed. And I just sit there and think, we got to move on to the next thing because there's so many things to get to. That's some of our coverage discussing the history of aliases here. Yeah, Soy Teresa says, don't look at it then. And I should stop looking at the clock. But one thing I do want to do for this show, and I was telling Pepito, I want to get an actual hourglass and turn it over at the start of the show. And then I don't have to look at the clock. I can just see how much sand is left in the thing. Maybe I have a camera on the hourglass. Could be. Soy Teresa says she doesn't like parameters. And she's being honest. She really doesn't. I don't think she likes any parameters at all. Pepito, are you ready to move on? Yeah. It's a sick sound drop, sound alert, whatever. You ready to move on to wrestling?
Yes, let's do this. Oh,
I don't have a lot here.
got the Gory
because
Guerrero background.
Yeah, see, that's absolutely. I was gonna say, I wanted to go off the cuff and just talk wrestling because I don't know if you're aware of this, Pepito, but I've been to a wrestling show in El Paso.
Yeah.
Maybe I've told you.
You mentioned it last time, or one of the times on our show, with
Well,
your grandpa taking you an air hag.
Yeah, I'm about to tell you that story though. You shouldn't like say it right before I say it. That takes all the fun out of it.
You did it on stream.
I know, but people don't watch this show.
I do.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna say it anyway because you mentioned Gory Guerrero, and you were telling me you were watching some Gory Guerrero wrestling clips. I think you sent me one. My vision's really bad, and the grainy old footage, I couldn't tell, but I think you sent me something of Gory Guerrero.
Yeah.
Brother Binks in the chat says, who did you see wrestle? Well, God, I wish I saw Jake the Snake. He was my hero when I was a kid. Too bad he's kind of a scumbag, bad person, but whatever. In 7th grade, maybe 8th, somewhere around there, as Pepito said, my grandpa took Airhag and I to go see wrestling in El Paso. And it was a WWE event. I think, no, they were WWE at the time. They had already changed from WWF. Anyway, we went, and one of the biggest stars of the night when we were there was maybe it's the son of Gory Guerrero. I should have gotten these facts straight, but the Guerrero family is huge in El Paso wrestling history, and I mean all over, but especially in El Paso. It was kind of the hub where a lot of them started. And I saw the wrestler known as Eddie Guerrero. And I believe that's Gory's son. Might be grandson. No, it's got to be son. But Eddie Guerrero, the famous WWE wrestler, I saw him there wrestling in El Paso. And I don't know if you know this about me, Pepito, but sometimes I'm a bit of a contrary.
Sure. How so?
Because I'm contrary. And I go against stuff. So when I was a child and I went to El Paso with Airhag and my grandpa to watch wrestling, Eddie Guerrero was the biggest star for everybody in El Paso. You know, he grew up in El Paso. He wrestled a lot in El Paso. And now here he was in the biggest wrestling company on earth. And he was the hometown hero who returned and was on top of the world. And I'm telling you, everybody in that arena were such big Eddie Guerrero fans. And I was too. But when we saw him wrestle live, I booed the fuck out of him because he was a good guy and I only liked the bad guys. And that's a moment that stands in my mind, is watching Eddie Guerrero walk down the aisle on the way to the ring, and everybody around me and all over the place just screaming his name and woo, you know, and Airhag and I just there in the middle going boo, because we were fans of the bad guy that he was facing, Christian. And I remember I have this distinct memory in my brain of Eddie Guerrero looking up at us and just having a kind of bummed out look on his face because here he was in a room where everybody loved him, and these two teenage assholes were just booing the shit out of him. And I regret that. He died a few years later.
What?
And yeah, he was obviously a way better wrestler than the guy I was cheering.
You's a fool, baby. What's wrong with you, man?
Baby.
Sick.
That is my favorite sound drop. I have to say, I love that. Taeyeon, fuck. Twando, yes. I got the name all of a sudden mixed up with that Eddie Gale song. Look at Taeyonda.
Oh.
Oh.
Black rhythm happening everywhere.
Wait, what is the...
Binks
wow. Brother Binks says, died at 38. I'm 39. I outlived him. R.I.P. And that is true. As Soy Teresa in the chat points out, that makes Binks the champion. He outlasted Eddie Guerrero. So he's got that going for him. Now, I have these other buttons, and I cannot remember what they do. What does this one do? Okay, no, that's not it. That's for later. Oh, here we go. Can you read this one?
El Paso Herald-Post, October 27th, 1933. Walter Sneeze, achoo! Chinese wrestler has adopted the maxim, the bigger they are, the harder they fall, for his finish match next Tuesday night with Francisco Aguayo, alias Cactus Pete Brown.
Yeah, that's
Aguayo
cool.
is a light heavyweight. Achoo, a
That
middleweight.
doesn't matter really. The strong part is the beginning of that. Walter Sneeze Achu. If my last name were Achu, I think Sneeze would be the perfect alias. I love that. And I believe, yeah, that's on October 27th, 1933. So that's on this day almost, what is it, 90 years ago?
Yeah.
I don't do math too good anymore.
No, you're close.
Yeah, I'm in the ballpark, and that's all that matters. All that matters is it's been about 100 years, but it was exactly on this day that Walter Sneeze Achu had that.
Walter, the Sneeze Achoo.
God, you should be an announcer.
In this corner.
I'm the one that starts the episodes and announces you. You really should. I mean, we've discussed it, having you introduce me some week. And
oh yeah, dang, those are some big shoes to fill.
Golly.
being you on the show, that's hard.
You wish, fool. Yeah, that's Walter Sneeze Achu.
And Cactus Pete Brown.
And Cactus Pete Brown, which reminds me, speaking of aliases, I guess we're in the wrestling section, but we're also talking aliases all night. And that reminds me, when my grandpa was a pitcher for the caveman baseball team in high school, there's a newspaper article, and they called him Cactus Jack Skinner.
Oh, sick.
That's pretty sick. Cactus Jack, which is the name of another wrestler. So,
yeah, I didn't know a lot about.
Well, that's why you're here. That's why you're learning. That's why you're in class.
Jack Skinner, world class hero.
Cactus Jack.
Cactus Jack Skinner. Sorry.
I think that might be. Golly, we're about like 58 minutes into the show. Jeez Louise. I think that might be the wrestling stuff we had to cover.
Aww.
And what?
You're going to show us how to do all those moves like a suplex.
Oh, yeah. I got it. You go like that.
Oh, did
suplex all day. Well, that's a normal, vertical suplex. You're talking. There's so many variations. There's the gut wrench suplex. There's the superplex. There's a million variations on the suplex, but standard would be just your vertical. Yeah, I can do that. I can suplex Cobra. I do it sometimes. Oh God. Soy Trees in the chat says hour 2, time to get technical. Jeez Louise. Well, one thing we have to do is we have to tie up loose ends. Pepito, why are we in El Paso?
Oh, you're the reason why we're in El Paso and your court order.
Yeah, I was ordered to come to court. And
you just came as moral support and to do the show.
Right, and I needed a ride because I don't drive. So we borrowed Soy Teresa's grandfather's bus.
We could have just stuck you on a self-driving Tesla.
No, I wouldn't get on. That's like oil and water, brother. They don't mix. It ain't happening. Okay. But yeah, that's why we came down here, and we showed up in El Paso for our first episode at the top of the month. And the plan was we're just going to be here for a week in El Paso. But there was a note on the door that said the judge was busy and couldn't hear my case and for me to come back. So we were asked to come back on the 20th. I was asked to come back on the 27th. So Pepito was kind enough to agree to stay here with me in El Paso. Soy Teresa left and she went back to Carlsbad about a week ago and took the bus. So we're kind of stranded out here. But to explain what happened, I returned to the courthouse today to finally see the judge and get this court case all cleared and all of these things. But I had trouble finding which courtroom was the one I go in, you know? Yeah. It's my vision is just abysmal these days.
It's like a maze in there too.
Exactly. I think they do that on purpose just to mess with,
make people late.
Exactly. To mess with stuff like that. Yeah, Sunday court. Couldn't find it. I think what we're gonna do is, as soon as this episode ends, Pepito, I have secured a ride back to Carlsbad for us. Mysterious stranger has offered to give us a ride back, so I'm just gonna dip out. Finally. I mean, what's an El Paso judge gonna? An El Paso judge is not gonna be able to find me in Carlsbad. Let's be honest. El Paso is a great town. I love it here, but at the end of the day, El Paso is in Texas, so this is a Texan judge, and there's no way a Texan judge would be able to find me in Carlsbad. So I say we just skip out on it, and as soon as this episode's done, we head back to Carlsbad. What do you say?
Yeah, rules are meant to be broken.
Absolutely. So there are just a few grab bag last minute things that we should talk about while we're here in El Paso. And this first one, when we posted our first El Paso episode, uploaded it, put it on YouTube, we got a message sent to us by, I have this written down, it's M, number 3, CH5OUL. So it's like mech soul, but with a 3 and a 5 to replace the E and the S. And Mech Soul said, wow, you guys are in El Paso? You should really check out Casa Azucar, Dave's Pawn Shop, and the... What's the name? God, I thought about writing this down, and I thought, oh, I'll just remember it because... Oh, it's Ho Baron. That's the artist. It's the Ho Baron statue garden. And so, to honor Mech Soul, I wanted to talk really quickly about those 3 places. Have you ever been to Casa Azucar?
Yeah.
Okay.
Long time.
Well, here we go. There we go.
No
So,
pase.
Casa Azucar is for those. Yeah, Brother Binks in the chat says if you haven't taken the Greyhound from El Paso to Carlsbad, you haven't lived. And I 100% agree. I've been on that bus so many times.
If you haven't been stopped and checked by the Border Patrol on your way back to Carlsbad, then you haven't lived.
I'll tell you what.
With Matt in the freezing night with his shirt off.
I'll tell Matt or Mac?
Matt Galindo or Matt G.
Yeah, that guy. I've heard of him. Yeah, Soy Teresa says she has some cool photos of that.
Of this Casa Azucar?
She needs to find those, and I assume she's talking about Casa Azucar. But really quick, you brought up being stopped by Border Patrol.
Yeah.
I don't know if you realize this, Pepito, but I'm a very white man. And
I know.
My grandparents, believe it or not, are even whiter. And been to El Paso a million times, never got stopped at the Border Patrol until I went with you and Matt to El Paso, Modest Mouse. That was the first time I got stopped by the Border Patrol. Was,
and they look through our CD collection and talk shit.
Yeah,
Devo.
They're running all through the thing. That was a wild night. There were so many near-death experiences, and yes, but let's get back to Casa Azucar. We can't spend all night just.
We need to feature Soy Teresa photography sometime.
Yeah, absolutely. I wanted to find the photos because she and I went there years ago, and the old man that built it came outside and talked to mostly Soy Teresa, but I was there as well. Awesome. I have his name. For the uninitiated, Casa Azucar, and maybe this wasn't the best photo to have up as the first photo because you can't even tell what it is here, but it is. There we go. There's a better picture. Casa Azucar was made by Rufino Loya. That's his name. I don't need that anymore. Don't need my post-it note. God, Cobra's running over here to grab my post-it note because he saw me throwing something. Ugh.
Swish.
But Rufino Loya, this is his house, Casa Azucar, and he started building it, the decorations that surround the property in 1973, I think, somewhere around there. It was the 1970s. And he started building it because he said he was retired from the Levi Strauss Corporation. I don't know exactly what he did, but I'm a big Levi's fan, so it's nice to think that maybe Rufino Loya helped make some of my favorite pants. Could be, who knows. Anyway, he told his wife in the 1970s that he wanted to decorate his house to show his wife how much he loved her, you know?
Dang.
So he started doing all this, building all this, and I think he's been working on it for 40 years. I think he might still be working on it.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. I think the time Soy Teresa and I met Rufino, we had heard about Casa Azucar, and we went and stopped by, and we were taking some photos, and he came outside and was just very friendly, wanted to, talk about it and everything. And I believe he said that at that point his wife had passed, but he was continuing to make these sculptures and decorate them in her honor. It was just a very beautiful story.
That's beautiful, man. Wow.
There's a bit more.
Oh my god.
Huh. That's so cool.
That's all one man, one person.
Yeah. See, I knew we couldn't leave El Paso without talking about Casa Azucar because it's so beautiful. And there's, I think that's my last one, but just phenomenal stuff. What am I? And so that's Casa Azucar. And is this button my Dave's Pawn Shop? No. That's more wrestling stuff?
Yeah, I was like, we didn't get that one yet.
I picked the wrong button. And Cinderoni in the chat says, doesn't Azucar mean sugar? And Soy Teresa says, love it. And yes, but it's named that because, as can be seen in the photos, it really does have a resemblance to, candy. It's a very, it looks like a candy house. I'm not gonna mince words. That's what it looks like. So there's that. I think I fucked up, and this button brings up a wrestling story. And it shouldn't. I thought that button was going to bring up a picture of the Ho Baron. God, who's
Soy Teresa?
Yeah. Well, I mean, she's accurate. That was a malfunction. I did misprogram my buttons, but I was going to bring up a photo of the Ho Baron sculpture garden, and that's very beautiful. I'm really disappointed I didn't have time to go check that out this month, but if you're in El Paso, I highly recommend it. It's beautiful stuff.
Ho Baron.
What?
Ho Baron.
Yeah, I think that's the name.
Give me some time. I
promise to get smarter. Betting against the odds of... That was you? Are you just me because I'm not smarter? Jesus Christ.
No, I just love our sound alerts that you've prepared.
Oh, yeah. I love the sound alerts. And I figured out how to delete old ones now. So, I got more sound alerts that I want to do. I just keep running out of time. Maybe now that we're not in El Paso and we're about to be back in Carlsbad where I have all my equipment, maybe I can finally get on updating our sound alerts. That would be beautiful.
I'm stuck in this little corner of a room.
Last thing, yeah, but I mean, it looks like a great hotel room that you got, motel, whatever, hotel, motel.
It's a nice little corner.
Yeah, it's nice. The last thing that Mech Soul, God, I already see. I threw away a post-it note.
Mech 35 Soul.
I was a bit hasty with that, but the last thing that they recommended we check out is Dave's Pawn Shop. Have you ever been there?
No, never have enough money for something like that.
It's not expensive, but Dave's Pawn Shop, it's called that, but it's also a house of oddities, pretty much. You know what I mean? They claim to have the mummified finger of Pancho Villa, his trigger finger, which I don't know. Maybe it's true. And they also have what they claim is the only mummy in El Paso, the completely mummified corpse. So,
why?
If we weren't about to hightail it and get the hell out of El Paso, I would say you need to check that out because it is very great. thank you, Mech Soul, for telling us about those. Pepito, I think we can finally close this show out and this month.
Fuck yes.
And you had a suggestion for what our topic should be next week, now that we're back in Carlsbad.
Oh,
Do you want to share that?
Homecoming.
The homecoming. Next week on Caveman News, we're talking homecoming.
Yay.
Because coming home. It's beautiful. Pepito, thank you very much. Thank you, everybody in the chat and those that watched. It's been a lot of fun.
Amazing people. Thank you.
Yeah. Let's close this one out. What do you say?
Let's do this. Thank you.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Sean. Sean Norris. Sean Cho, whatever you want to call me. Sorry I missed the call last week. I had a lot of stuff going on, and I just was not able to make it. Not only that, like, something happened with my Netflix and my Hulu, because it's connected to an account that I have, that I pay for, and I get those on, like, a benefit for that. And so I wasn't able to actually check out the movie, but I'm going to figure it out this week and watch it and let you guys know what's going on. I love you guys, and I apologize for, like, you know, my tardiness and all that. But I can promise you this, that it's not intentional by any means, and that life is crazy as hell, especially in my world. So I love you guys, miss you guys, and I hopefully will get to talk to you guys later. Peace out. One love. Bye.
Hello, Caveman News. It's Cindy with some astrology. I am going to assign an art movement to every sign in this message. So, let's start with the sign that loves to go first, Leo. They're going to get the Renaissance, which was like a 300-year period that was all-encompassing with accurate portraiture, but of people in their best light, made up to look their best. That is Leo. Then I'm going to talk about Baroque, which I'm assigning to Scorpio, obviously, because all of those paintings were dark and brooding. They were intense and dramatic. Think Caravaggio with David holding the head of Goliath like it was no big deal. Scorpio.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Sean. Sean Norris. Sean Cho, whatever you want to call me.